We'll go ahead and start. We do have a quorum. So let's start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call. I see Councilman Whitener and Councilman Stetler are not here presently. I believe last I knew Councilman Whitener was out of state on for work related. I haven't heard Councilman Stetler sometimes gets off work late. These 6 o'clock meetings sometimes is hard for him. But we do have a quorum, so let the record show that we do have a quorum. Those would like to join me in prayer, please do. Lord, we thank you for your many blessings, and we ask you for your guidance as we discuss the Cardiopulmonary project in our public hearing. We ask of all this in your name, Lord. Amen. Thank you. We'll talk a little bit about the Wyoming Cardiopulmonary project. The town of Shoshoni is looking at building an approximately 7,500 square foot building that Wyoming Cardiopulmonary would operate their business out. They've been involved in the design work, so this building is built for them specifically and for their business specifically for the needs that they need to operate their business. It's going to be a really nice looking building. It's going to complement Fast Lane. Be another really, attractive building on our downtown. When you come through Shoshoni, it'll make us look a little better. One of the reasons that drew them to Shoshoni, besides our location, but also seeing the improvements we've been making. Fast Lane was a huge facelift for our town, huge facelift. That very positive impact Wyoming Cardiopulmonary to look at Shoshoni. Our new town plaza is another example. Where I think citizens have been doing well slowly. I think making the town look better. It's positive things going on with Shoshoni. So they really want to come here. This what we're looking at right now, it's a loan and a grant. It's a combination. Let me explain the grant. The grant is, this would be to the town of Shoshoni. The Wyoming Cardiopulmonary will be making payments on that. Would be $3 million, and that's at 0% interest. That $3 million at 0% interest. So that's a pretty good deal. The good thing, if you look at the pass outside we got there, that of that $3 million, 75% of that will come back to the town of Shoshoni over 20 years. That'll be over 20 years that will come back to the town of Shoshoni. So 2.25 million if we receive all of that. And we can use that for economic development issues, infrastructure, sewer, water, road. We can use, we're limited. We can't put that in our general budget and buy a mayor a new car. Just saying. Darn. We can't use it to buy Chris a new Hellcat either for a pursuit vehicle, though he needs one. So, but and that's one thing that really attracts uh, us to this type of loan, and it's designed to help municipalities, especially, this may be not that big a deal in Casper and maybe not that big a deal in Riverton. Shoshone, this is a big deal. I mean, this can, and what that enables us to do is infrastructure. So we gotta, if we're paying for this is going towards infrastructure for water and sewer lines, we would not have to raise our water and sewer rates or raise them, because we would not be spending very much of our water and sewer money on this, and as exceeds this. So this $2 million, we can convert that into $8 to $10 million, working with Chris. It can convert $8 to $10 million into other grant money. This can be our match money, because whenever we get a grant, they require us to put match, where we borrow the money for the match, or we have it in our savings for the match. However we get it, we got to have money for a match to get a grant. So we can get a grant, and also to get a grant, we got to have our water rates high enough to generate the money to, like, if we have to pay a loan for the match. If we don't have to borrow that money for match, we don't have to raise our water rates, because as long as they're reasonable to match the grant. I know Hudson is raising their rates, and I think in 5 years they're going to be near 150 a month, because they had to raise their rates next 5 years, $10 a month. Or not me, yeah, $10 a month per year, for 5 years, to qualify for the grant loan they were getting. And so this helps us there a lot. That's sort of the good thing. Wyoming Cardiopulmonary is going to, I pass this out, they're going to anticipated staff need, and this is excluding doctors, is 12. Whether they live in Shoshone or Thermopolis or Riverton, eventually they hope to get a doctor that wants to live in Hot Springs County or Fremont County near here. Hopefully he wants to live in Shoshone. Hopefully his wife likes to catch walleye. That's the doctor we need. His wife that loves fishing, because this is the place. But that's their goal, and they hope. But it's hard to recruit doctors into Wyoming right now. Everybody's having some issues, but hopefully this gives Wyoming Cardiopulmonary another place. They have another, will be a regional clinic here besides their major one they have in Casper. It gives doctors they're recruiting another option, maybe, to come here. Maybe they don't like Casper. They got off the plane and blew into Converse County, and so this isn't for me. Maybe they want to come to Fremont, So, but it could help. They feel this clinic, this is a plus for them. It could also help them recruit another doctor here, another cardiologist, not just a doctor, but a cardiologist. There is, and if you look at this, that's the grant side. We go over to the loan side, because the grant is 0% interest. 0% interest. If we go over to the loan side is a 2% interest loan, which is still a great loan. It's for $3,442,342. I know we were hoping to keep that to 3 million, but one thing we don't want to have is, when we go into this, have overruns. So we were very liberal on the pricing. We tried to build in inflation. We put in a 20% buffer at the suggestion of the Wyoming Business Council, to make sure we have enough money, because whatever we come to at the end, we don't want to have, like happened to our water project, we come to it and we don't have enough money to finish the job. So these numbers reflect that. And that money there, they make their payments. It's based on a 2% interest, 20-year amortization, and all that money goes back to the state of Wyoming. And then on, like I said, on the grant, I didn't mention that we get 75%, they get 25% of that 3 million. So 750,000 also of that goes back to the state of Wyoming.
It's always big, you know, we gotta pay the banker somewhere.
Yeah, well, I'm very appreciative of the 75% we get to keep here. When I was first looking at it, I thought we was only gonna keep 50%, but it's 75%. Which, like I said, that can really help the town out on future. And this is over a 20-year, this is over 20 years. So I think I've covered most of this. I know we've had Wyoming Cardiopolymer, and we debated and talked about the stability of the company and what they do. We can ask if anybody's got questions about that. We can provide that too. I know the state has reviewed them and found them very financially sound. They actually would qualify for a regular loan. I'll bring that up, but the cost is just if you look at our clinic standalone, the cost it just makes it really hard for them to justify if they were spending another $300,000 a year or so on interest. It's just, for instance, if year one on this project, there's going to cost them, $570,000, $80,000 for startup, for equipment and everything they're buying. That's a number that's approximate. It could be a little less than that. But they estimate in year one, excluding that and just their salaries and getting the business going, they're going to lose approximately $807,000 year one. Year two, they're going to lose approximately $540,000 year two. Year three, they estimate they're going to go to 5 days a week. Year three, they'll go to 5 days a week on year three. They estimate they'll have a net, they'll be making money at $296,000. Year four, they estimate they'll have around $430,000 net profit. Year five, they estimate they're going to have about $288,000 net profit. No, I don't know what happened between 4 and 5, but this is their numbers. They may be expanding a little, they may whatever, but that's their numbers. So the first 2 years, they're in the hole counting their startup money over 1.9 million. That's their investment for the first 2 years. The next 3 years, they're going to make a little over $1 million. So after year 5, they're still about $915,000 in the hole, approximately. And these are projections. They could do better, they could do worse. I mean, but that's a realistic projection. They feel that's what they're basing their business model on. So they're putting a significant, investment into the town of Shoshoni. And if you look their annual salary, this is excluding doctors by excluding doctors, but they have 12 employees with over $1.1 million. But that's including benefits. That's 12 employees, over $1.1 million. So they got a relatively substantial payroll. You know, 6 of the employees make better than 60,000 a year. But and that's not counting other people that could be janitorial work and, other things. And they're in conversation with 3 other companies, medical providers of some sort, that are very interested in coming here also. And they do have some additional suites, office, whatever you want to call, in their building. They're building for exactly that. So they think there's, hopefully you get this going here. Because of our location, we could develop into, a lot more regional help here for many things. Dr. Idlecheck even mentioned there's a chance there could even be a pharmacy grow up here. So but Dr. Idlecheck, this is really, he wants to do this. He may be dragging the other doctors along, but he really sees the vision of this facility in Shoshoni. He's really impressed with what we've done here in Shoshoni, and he wants to help us do more, and hopefully they'd like to make a little money. But he told me he's pretty happy if they don't make a lot of money, but they don't want to lose a lot of money. They want to make a little money, and they'll be very, very good, because they'll provide a far better service than we have for our region. We'll have cardiopulmonary people right here, a far better service than what we currently have.
Joe,
And he actually wants to do that. Yes.
can we make the motion to go into public hearing?
Oh, shit.
Oh. Oops,
I thought we were, okay.
flies were escaping.
Well, that was your intro.
Okay, that's my intro. Yeah, I thought I was in public hearing. Okay. We called this meeting a public hearing on it, didn't we? Okay, we'll go into public, not a special meeting, but a public hearing. Anyway, motion going to public hearing.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Been moved by Councilman Harkey, second by Councilman Dean. We're going to public hearing. Do you have any public comment?
I have a lot, just depends on how long the clock's gonna run. I brought a watch.
You can talk.
Go ahead.
My name is Joel Sherman. If you don't know me, they call me Sherm.
Please
Oh,
speak up to the
you don't-
microphone, young
you don't-
man.
You don't need the microphone.
You speak well, but
Okay, so we moved here in 08, rapidly called Shoshoni home, and we've been flourishing since, except for when you have a moment. Several years ago, the doctor told Lee she needed to go find a cancer clinic, and we went to Billings, Montana. What do you get there? Well, you have a very nice facility, but you still have to get a hotel. If you're going to put a heart or a cardiopulmonary thing in here, is there a plan to have some form of housing available, hotels, motels for them to
Well-
rent?
well, currently we do have a hotel.
Okay,
Excuse me for interrupting.
we're good. I interrupted too, so oops. Now, while we were there, we also ate out 4, 5, 6, 7 times. So other than the fast lane and several other choices here, we could probably do something about bringing in a bigger something, okay? While that's building, these 12, 13 people that are going to be here are going to have to find a house. We have a lot of houses. Not many of them are able to be called home at this point. We took a broken down place that the Wyoming Community Development Program and got a slight grant from them and put the money in, and now we have a house. And then we added to it, and we've put up a barn, and we call this home. That's cardiopulmonary. Wyoming does not have a vitreous retinal surgeon. In the entire state, we don't have one. So you have a choice. You can go to Denver, Salt Lake, or I went to the Rapid City Eye Institute, or the Rapid City to the Black Hills Eye Institute there. But what do you do once you get there? What do? You have to find a hotel. You've got to find things to do other than going to the jewelry store or going to the Shield store or whatever. You got to eat. Then you got to go have surgery, but you got to go past the 5 different medical facilities that are there, that not only is a hospital, but they have a cardiopulmonary, they have an eye doctor there. They actually have some senior assisted living out behind everything there. There's a lot that could be done with this once somebody shows you that the crossroads of Wyoming run through Shoshoni. We've got a lot of traffic here. Word of mouth gets by. The tourists are here. Coming from back east where there's a lot of people, I enjoy the quaint little town we have here. However, for many years, we have been neglected. And in the last 5 or 6 years, I can really see things moving forward in a very positive way for me, and the missus, and the dogs. And we have a very nice council room here. Shoshoni now is like a city with a future. So if somebody was to say to me, how do you feel about the cardiopulmonary? I think it's going to be great for this town. Because while they're still here, they're going to stop at the fast lane for fuel. They're going to stop at the fast lane for soda and something to eat if they don't go to one of the other facilities. But it's a start. You got to have something. That gas station complex is amazing. We use it frequently. You know, it's convenient. It's here. I really like their windshield washer things because they reach all the way across my truck windows. But that's me. That has nothing to do with this. But you got to start somewhere. Back in our youth, we saw a movie. It was all about a ball field and a cornfield. If you build it, they will come. You know, part of that is true. If you give them a chance, the people will respond. I know I have a lot more to say, but you know what? I think I've said enough for now.
Sure appreciate your comments. Everything you said is we could be a diamond in the rough. We're working
Yes.
on. And we have the lake. We have so many good things here to bring people here. We have a lot of good people in town, which is our real asset. Great school for people that come to work, but there's a lot of people our age that want to come to Wyoming, and this type of service is needed. And a lot of those people have the funds where they can buy a home, build a home. I mean, we're going to offer a lot of different options on size. I mean, this is, we get enough people here, maybe we get a cafe.
Ooh.
We get enough
As a cook, as a chef, okay, with especially with my wife's allergies, we do not eat out a lot because she has digestive and or I don't know, bruising that appears. It's ugly. Okay. So I do a lot of cooking. There's only two places in Riverton we can eat. You know, we don't eat out here a lot. It's a choice. We all make choices, and
Yep.
if I can't grow it, I can kill it and we eat it, you know?
I mentioned to you, your home was when my family, we first here for like a month. My dad rented it and came down in, I think, October 61, and family, we came down and, like 1st of June of 62, school got out and we moved down there, and for a short time we was in that house, but you've improved it 188% times 10. No,
And there's more
really
you don't
nice
know
home.
about.
That's a really nice.
You know, it is. It's very comfortable for us and the dogs.
And the birds.
Well, during the season, like right now, it is hummingbird season. So you want to be careful if you're standing out front when they're zipping back and forth.
Yeah.
So it's exciting. I'm going to have my knee replaced. So where do you go? Do you go to Fort Collins? Do you go to Salt Lake City? Do you go to Billings? Hot Springs is going to have a guy that comes out of Laramie that does surgery there twice a month. We put up a facility, they're gonna have surgical suites that are there. They can rent rooms out. The nursing staff is already there. They bring some of their own staff with them for some of this, but it's still more boots on the ground here.
Yeah, I use that, that's Premier Bone and Joint, and I use them.
That's good. And so did they fix it or, I mean, I gotta have something done.
Well,
I can't kneel on that knee anymore because I can't garden, I can't gut a deer, and that's,
Yeah.
oops. Can't eviscerate a critter, you know what I mean?
yeah, my first replacement was going really, really good. Then I was in an automobile accident where a guy hit me and broke that out of the cement and had to do a replacement. This replacement, but it caused nerve damage, and that may be part of the problem. That I got nerve damage, it's just it's giving me issues and not getting better like I think it should.
There's a lot going on, you know?
I'm also getting older.
You know,
Some people tell me.
And I feel blessed that every day I wake up and I see the sunrise, okay? Because otherwise there's, a lot of negativity going on there, so.
Yes, thank you.
Doesn't matter how many birds I broke in trap, okay? The sunrise coming up in the east, that's very important to me. That's some reality right there. Thank you for letting me speak.
Thank you, Joel.
But it doesn't hurt to break a lot of birds in trap shooting.
I still sleep fine. I broke a lot in my youth.
Anybody else from the audience like to speak? But anybody, do we have anybody online that would like to speak?
I can do more. Do you need more?
We got the time. That's up to you.
So, well, we got the time.
Man after my own heart.
I couldn't make it to the last meeting where the Women's League of Voters had a meeting, some candidate forum over at the senior center. We got to watching that, whatever it is, and a lot of things that were brought up was the youth exodus out of Wyoming. Why does the youth exodus happen? Because, believe it or not, although we're in the center of the state, we don't have the jobs available for that. When I came here, I was an American, let's see, ACA, Correctional Association Certified Food Service Manager. I'm a fancy cook, all because I can pass a UA. And I know how to dot the I's and cross the T's, and you got to get the paperwork done. I turned that from a career, retired out of New York, and Wyoming called and asked me if I wanted to come in here and interview and do a job. 6 weeks later, I packed everything in the back of my little Jeep and drove to Wyoming. I'm still here. I see the potential. I'm trying to help the potential come along. But I'm in a very eclectic field. There's not a lot of that going on out there. I see the kids, Brandon, my neighbor, I'm chatting with him. He works over to the bus garage. There's two of them. We need to build in a way for the youth to stay here, to become part of the community rather than migrating to the bigger cities. We were just having dinner with friends after our meeting in town, and her kids all live in Colorado. Oh, I take that back. One lives in Cheyenne. The other two are in Colorado because one of them's a traveling nurse. She's down in Honduras right now as a traveling nurse. They go where the jobs are because they're trying to raise a family too. And why do we get so many senior citizens here? Because this is a fairly safe spot to land in your seniority, especially Lee and I were discussing if something should happen, the senior apartments over here that are for rent on a very reasonable rate. You can't go anywhere and find an apartment for that kind of price. Okay, sorry, oops.
Thank you. Again, anybody else? Council have anything to say?
Only thing I got a question is you're saying the 1.9 million they're gonna be in the hole the first year. How are they gonna make the payment? Or are we gonna make the payment?
No, they're gonna be making the payment. They're a financially sound company and they can afford to lose that money.
The accountants.
Yeah.
Or they wouldn't be doing it. This is what they're looking at this and this is what they're gonna step in, you know, it's, my dad used to tell me sometimes you gotta lose money to make money. Yeah, but you gotta be able to afford to lose the money. Yes, please, Councilman.
So, as far as the construction part goes, we're really not to that phase yet. Of course, all the financing has to be approved. And then, so in order to get a general contractor and then start the construction, I guess, how does that proceed from here?
Well, first, if we move forward on this, and it'll take the architects, engineers, 4 to 6 months to design it. And once they design it, then it'll be put out for bid. But that's sort of the short, and then we gotta, there's the, you know, we got hoops and stuff, we gotta follow through the business council and everything, we will be doing that. And, but that's the procedure.
So there's still multiple steps, of course. to
We have
financing
multiple
in place.
steps. All we're doing tonight is this is just the first step. Without this, we don't move forward. Business council can look at this or SLIB and say this is not a good idea, we won't do it. This is just our first step. For us to apply for an application, we got to do this right now. And that's what we're doing, and then from there it goes on the merit. They'll look at the process. They're going to have questions. They're going to have. We will have a certified engineer's estimate, of the estimate that these numbers are real numbers. The business council had us add 20% to cover our rear ends to make sure that we have enough. And I know the contractors and the engineers, when they're putting this together, architect was building in some fluff anyway to make, because we don't want to go into a project and not have funding, because we won't get any more from the state. So we want to make sure we have some funding. That's enough. We've also been in conversation with Dr. Idlechick. If there is some overruns, where we hope there's not, but cardiopulmonary would could and continue on, and because the town, it will not be able to afford any overruns. So we think this number is high. It's higher, but we want to make sure, and we may not, you know, this loan grant, only the money we take, we won't, if we end up being 500,000-600,000 less than this, that's all we're borrowing, the grant loan, we won't take anymore. So this is maximum amount that we can go after. So we're protecting ourselves that way, so we have it if we need it. But you know, there's a good chance we don't need all of this money, but it'd be nice if we did. But we're prepared if we have overruns we're not anticipating.
I'm glad to hear that the engineers and I would think the architects build in some of their own fluff, just because of the volatility of the construction trades right now and the materials and so forth.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did. And business council had to make sure make sure that we're well protected. If this thing drug on 4 or 5 years and not doing it, Lord knows what would happen. But I mean, if we get started, you know, next year, you know, This probably is not gonna open up till 2028. The business. Time we go through all that, get the funding, design it, put it out, construct it, it'll be 2028 before they open their doors. So. But Wyoming cardiopulmonaries look real hard at this.
Did they also put on a cap on overruns on how much they would be willing to?
We're gonna probably negotiate that. We just, they're, if it's $5 million, probably not. If it's $200,000, probably, you know what I mean? We did talk about a number. We're working on the contract right now. We didn't talk in the number of hundreds of thousands, not millions. But just, sort of a general understanding, and our attorney is working on contracts with that in it. And so that's where we're at with that.
Thank you.
Anything else? Chief, would you like to make any comments or?
Think you pretty much covered it, Mayor.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just gonna be a process, so we really won't know anything until probably later this year, towards the end of the year.
Yeah.
So
Chris worked real hard today to help us get this all put together. And conversations with the business council. So. No, last chance, anybody have anything?
I'll check online real quick.
Make sure
Nope.
nobody online that wants to comment. We'll have a motion to close this public hearing.
Make the motion.
I'll second.
We moved by Councilman Harkey, second by Councilman Nordine to close the. Well, one more question. Is there anybody in this room that's against this project? To where we're sitting now, anybody in this room against this project? Is there anybody online raising their hand?
Nope.
I just don't know, I guess enough about it, I don't see how it makes sense.
Nope. That's fair enough, you're still, Yeah.
You know, that's why I came tonight to see if I could learn
you
a
bet,
bit more about it.
that's what we want you to do. That's
Just
exactly
like
what we
how
want you to
probably
do.
for our tiny little town to take on for doctors who are perfectly able to get their own loan.
Yeah, that's,
Kind of what I'm-
but. Any other comments from the off, anyone, no one else, no one's against it. That's where we're at right now. Thank you.
Will the town get to vote on this? Because not everybody's gonna come to the meeting and that kind of thing. Is there gonna be an opportunity to like just put it out to the citizenry to vote? If they would like to do this or not, or is this
This is it.
this is it?
So. Had a motion and a second to adjourn. Any further discussion? I had my little discussion. None being, all in favor, say aye. Aye, pose the same. Motion passed, all in the affirmative. Time is
6:46.